As you can see here, I've got a huge piece of foam. Andy's been busy cutting the seat bases, which you're about to see, so I can make new upholstered seat cushions. But I can hear you all crying out, you already made seat cushions for Ocean Melody. Yes, I did. I did them very quickly in the Marina toilets back in Dartmouth when we first got Ocean Melody out of some scraps that I had. Time to do a proper job. We are Andy, Melissa, Jack and Oliver.
We've spent the last few years preparing to head off sailing to every corner of the world.
A few years ago we bought this huge steel yacht as a project.
But when Ollie came along, we needed a bigger boat with more cabins.
So now we're working on both boats,
getting Ocean Melody ready to go,
getting Still Melody ready to launch so that we can sell her.
To put some much needed funds back in the kitty for when we set sail. Right, so this is marine ply from Hughes Gray. It's 12mm. It's much better quality than what I've taken off the boat. And here are the seat bases for the boat. Now, you may notice, you maybe did notice, that when I was cutting these, I cut one wrong. Because I'm an idiot. So, and I should know better than that. I'm a measure twice, cut once person, and I was just distracted and not on great form this morning. So I didn't measure twice and I didn't cut once. I measured, well, I did cut once, but I measured twice, cut once, and it was wrong. Now, that's not a problem, really. Because, I'm just going to put that on there to balance it, because I'm installing these seat bases in 3 parts anyway. So one's going to be in 3 and one's going to be in 4. Doesn't matter, really doesn't matter. So, there we are. Now, they are slightly different. They're not much different, but they're slightly different. There we go. So that there is the starboard bunk berth bed. This is the port side bunk berth bed. And this one's going to be cut into a 1-piece, 2-piece, 3-piece with a hatch in the top of each one. This one's going to be 1-piece, 2-piece, 3-piece, with a hatch in the middle of each one. So what I'm going to do now is start sanding them, cutting them down to size, making sure the edges are nice, and cutting out the hatches.
this has actually got a kind of like a very small sprung top to it, so it should make it a lot firmer to sit on than just normal foam. So it should be better for our backs. So this top layer I'm going to cut through with scissors, and then the bottom layer I'm going to cut through with my trusty electric bread knife, she says. Easier said than done. While I'm here hacking away at this foam, I'd quite like to take this opportunity to apologise for being AWOL. Lots of people have said, where's Melissa, where's Jack? Ollie is 8 months now, and as you can imagine, life has been pretty hectic. He is crawling, he's climbing up on things, so I've had my hands full. We've had lots going on with Christmas and all of that fun stuff. But so what I'm doing, Ollie, it's bedtime, nighttime, so I'm going to try and do as many projects over the coming weeks while Ollie is sleeping. And Jack has been busy socialising with all his home ed friends and doing lots of schoolwork, and but he's hopefully going to be helping on some projects coming up soon. I may make the executive decision to scrap this top layer. The foam is plenty thick enough without this memory foam and the sprung bit, because it's a really nice dense sort of firm foam. But if we can use the sprung bit, then I will, because it will be more supportive. Bought this bread knife. When did I buy it? I bought this bread knife in Dartmouth, and it's been amazing for cutting foam. Not a bread knife. Well, you can use it on bread, but it's a meat carving thing that people only normally bring out at Christmas. But if you want to cut your foam, this is great. A hot knife is better, but this is brill. Love it. It's 6 degrees outside, and it's normally really freezing in here if the fire's not lit. But this is keeping me warm. With the cost of living crisis, save on fuel, cut a mattress. This looks quite rough, I know, but this is just literally me cutting it in half. Oh, it's killing my back. Cutting it in half to make it more manageable. When I do the final cuts, it will be a lot neater. That's going to be so comfy.
Hi everybody, I've come to the boat today to help Dad install the seat bases, and one of the first jobs we're going to do is repair these frames. We've got some timber to do that, and we're going to pop some new ones in here. So there's one there, there's three little things we have to put there to help support the seat.
Right, Jack, so let's just have a quick look. Come over this side.
Yeah.
So the first one goes in there. So what we've got to decide is where we need to put extra pieces. There's one at this end, there's one at that end, and there's one's going lengthways. So I think we need one.
Which one, like here?
Yeah, we need one there, and we need.
One between these two.
We could almost do with one going exactly between those two, yeah, so
Yeah.
it supports both. So the first thing we need to do, Jack, is measure, because we're going to put a piece of wood in between that one and that one. So just measure across there for me.
20 inches.
So 20 inches is a bit of a rough. It's actually 20 and an eighth, or 20 and 1/16 actually.
Oh.
What I want to know is in millimetres, how much is it?
51.
51
Well, that's actually
centimetres.
basically-
51 centimetres, which is
centimetres.
510 millimetres. So you need to cut a piece that's 510 mil. Right, have we already measured that gap, Jack?
Yeah, it was 51 centimetres. I can't remember how.
510 millimetres.
510
So what we're going to do is measure it again. Why are
Measure
we doing?
twice, cut once.
Exactly. Not something I always do. But let's measure it again. I'm going to put that in there.
Where's that mark? Yep.
Okay, cool. So now I'm going to measure 510 mil from that end. This is treated, tannalised, pressure treated timber that we're using for this. So put a little mark at 51 centimetres, 510 mil. Excellent. And now we need a square. So using this square, that's right, we're going to hold that there and we're going to mark all the way around. Let's do it this side so we can see. Perfect. You do the next one so you can see. Great. And then one more.
It's quite not thin.
That's fine, that's fine.
Making sure that's lined up.
Start by just pulling really hard to create a groove. And as you're sawing now, you're going to saw very gently on the push, but you're going to follow down this line. Okay? So you're going to go here, crouch, don't kneel.
Crouch.
Put your thumb round the wood. That's it. And make sure that your eyes are following the blade down this line.
That's going off.
Are you measuring the next one, are you?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do to pocket drill this one, we might do a mortise on the next one, but we're going to drill basically through on an angle, and we're going to sink the drill, the screw heads into the wood, and I'm going to drill through at an angle. So I'm going to put one pilot hole here. Oops. And one pilot hole here. And there are special tools for doing this exact job. And I've probably got one somewhere, but I've not got it with me, so tough. Now we're going to drill here with a bigger drill bit, and the purpose of the bigger drill bit, I need a bigger one than that actually, is so that the screw head can actually sink right into the wood.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You don't go all the way through.
No,
it's
no.
Just like
That's just for the screw head. Good. Beautiful. So that one is solid. That's pocket drilled, and that's more than fit for purpose. What we'll do with the other one, just because I think it's a nice exercise, is we'll do a mortise joint. Show you how, although it's not strictly necessary. So for this one, our piece of wood going across isn't going to go in between, it's going to go all the way to the end, so it needs to be 595 millimeters, 595. This piece will now basically sit on top, but we're going to sink it in. What we're going to do is take a measurement. Now the piece of wood is 45 centimeters. What's half of 45?
22 and a half.
22 and a half. Right, so this here is an oscillating tool.
Oh, we used it on Steel Melody.
We did. Come and sit down next to me. We've got a sanding pad on it at the minute, but we can put cutting blades onto it. So now we've got those two pieces out, that now sits in there flush, you see. So what we need to do now is we need to put a screw down through this one and through that one into this one, and we'll countersink the screw heads so that they don't sit proud. So the first thing I want you to do, we only need one screw, is I want you to put a hole there and a hole there, all the way through this and all the way into the wood underneath. Pull the trigger all the way. That'll do. So the next thing is to change the drill bit for a countersink. This makes a little dish, a dishy dish, for the screw head to go into. And what I do is, you see, if you hold the chuck and squeeze the trigger, it opens
Is it the same
and
on the
closes.
Makita?
Same on everything.
Okay.
So if you hold the drill in your right hand and hold the chuck and watch that, and then click this with your thumb, with your finger, and it goes the other way. Now the trick here is to hold the drill bit in your finger and thumb, pop it in the drill chuck, and then hold the chuck with these two fingers in the ball of your thumb, and then hold the chuck, go gently, and once it's tight, then you can just hold.
Oh, no, that's not tight.
Once it's in tight, now hold the chuck on its own until it's really tight.
That's tight.
That's tight. You might need to go pull the trigger and go round like a little bit. You shouldn't
Like
need
that.
to. Try it without, but you shouldn't need to. It depends how sharp the countersink is. Push down really hard. That's it. That'll do.
There.
And then have that. And that one. You don't need to change the chuck because I've already got the drill bit in there. Change the bit because I've already got the bit in there. Other way, that's unscrewing. Now stop a step. What we're going to do is we're going to set the torque on this. If you have it set to that, that's drill. If you have it set to, say, lower, then when it gets to a certain amount of resistance, it won't strip the thread on the top of there. So we'll put it on, say, 12 and see how we get on with that. Keep going till it goes. That'll do. I think we can now put the seat base on. That now should fit on there like that, and it does.
Neat.
And that should fit on there like that, and it does. That's perfect. We've got our seat tops to go on there. I'm just going to get this positioned exactly where I want it, and then you can put the rest of the screws in, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to put one or two in, and then you can do the rest. Right, amazing, Jack, well done. We've got one lid in there. This one.
Nice, it matches the grain.
You are?
So,
Great.
yeah, you cut it to match.
Yeah.
That's
And then this one goes in here.
Yep.
So go on, test it out.
Oh, that's actually a really cool pattern there, where the varnish just gone like
It'll all
a
be
bit.
hidden under the cushions there.
Shame.
And that's much, much, much wider than it was before.
Oh yeah.
It's way better, isn't it? Right, should we do the other side?
Yeah, I can actually sleep on it without having to like be like.
Miles better. Miles better. Right, Jack, so the next thing is to have a look at where the seat backs are going to go back in. So I'm just going to trim this down to where the new seat back's going to go, because it's going to come from here up at the same angle as the original one. Our seat bases are in and screwed down. I'm going to take them back up again to clean, but they're a simple matter of a few screws now to take these up, and access wise we can just get underneath there, dead simple. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be putting latches on these so that they can't just fly off. The seat backs are placed in place but not finalised, because I want Melissa to see them, because she's the one that's cutting the foam for these, and I want her to be certain of the angles and the positions and everything else before we finalise the decision on this. They're a lot wider than they were. They're about 10 or 15 centimetres wider than they were. Yeah, they're a lot wider. And the foam that we're using is a lot thicker, so it should be quite comfy by the time we've got it on. We're going to stop the episode there. A lot's happened in this episode, but we hope you've enjoyed it, especially having Captain Jack back on board helping me, and he's been a fantastic help. Thank you very much, Jack.
Thank you.
And we're going to say bye-bye for now. Thanks again, as always, to all of our patrons. Thanks to you guys for watching. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your likes.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Ta-ta.